Like and subscribe right now, or the spider will crawl on your face when you're sleeping.
I don't know what freaks you out, but I would bet creepy things like insects and these chill-inducing inhabitants are deal breakers for most. Yep, we can't stand them. Freaky stories, scary animals, insects, slithering crawlies, these are just but a few things that have been discovered in caves and tunnels around the world. Truth be told, each and every part of the world has an astonishing discovery at the very least. Everything from skulls of ancient human sacrifice to glowing worms to terrors of the night lie deep in caves. Heck, we have so much to talk about that will give you shivers. That being said, prepare to take a look at the top 10 caves and tunnels that might just be harboring the stuff of your nightmares. Number 10. Salt Men of Iran. The Salt Men of Iran have been found in salt caves and are said to date way back to the mid-1990s. Archaeologists believe the atmosphere of the caves have preserved the mummies of old salt miners for over 1,500 years. That's a long time, wouldn't you say? What remains of this salt miner is a strange look at what could be around the corner when exploring the Chehrabad salt mines. Imagine stumbling across this kind of monstrosity that's been preserved for years. It would be terrifying, but luckily we provide you with these nightmarish expeditions from the comfort of your viewing device. You lucky fella, especially when it crosses your mind that the remains are mummified men. The most surprising thing is that the mummy's white hair is shockingly intact and spooky to look at. Some even discovered a gold earring still intact in their ears. Before we move on, I've got a little challenge for you that'll take 5 seconds to complete. So here's the deal. You just leave a like on this video, smash that subscribe button, and hit the notification bell, and you will get 25 years of amazing luck. Try it, it really works. Number 9. Glowworms in WAITOMO Caves in New Zealand. Ever heard of glowing worms? Well, WAITOMO Caves in New Zealand is a place you have to have in your bucket list. These caves are filled entirely with millions of shimmering glowworms. Some people who have visited the location claim that the glowworm cave looks like a galaxy of living creatures hanging delicately from threads of silk. Amazing, right? The caves are said to have been formed over 30 million years ago, and today one only needs to hire canoes to enjoy the sight through all the sparkling worms as they light up the tunnels with their bioluminescent bodies. These are some interesting facts about the glowworms I thought you should know. P.S. Make sure you're not eating anything while watching this. One is that they glow to attract insects that get caught in the glowworm's sticky lines. 2. When a female reaches adulthood, it uses the light to attract a mate. 3. The glow also protects them from getting eaten by predators. Number 8. Skull cups of BLIMEY old England. Nasty, right? Who would even think of such a concept? Well, this is as real as it sounds. The last place you would expect to find ancient remains of a cannibal culture is the friendly countryside of BLIMEY old England. Long before Charles Babbage originated the concept of a programmable computer, early modern humans were violently butchering and eating each other. Located in the chambers of Go's Cave, archaeologists found skulls that were carefully carved into plates or dishes that were assumed to be serving blood or even tea. Yeah, just thank God you live in the 21st century. It is only after you see these skull cups do you realize that taking the flesh off a human skull required incredible finesse. Number 7. Caves of Death, Scotland. The name Caves of Death pretty much sums it all, I would guess. Located in northern Scotland, getting to these caves is a chore in itself. Archaeologists in the region traveled to the caves and found horrible things within its interior, but we are grateful for what they shared. There was evidence of human sacrifice. In fact, archaeologists found heads of children posted on poles littering the floor of the caves. They carbon dated these bodies and estimated them to have been inside these creepy caves for thousands of years. Upon researching deeper, the archaeologists believe that these caves could have been used for supernatural gatherings, like the passing of an individual's soul from one world to another. If there was ever a place on Earth that should be haunted, I think the Caves of Death in Scotland could very well be that place. Number 6. KABAYAN fire mummies. Around the beginning of the 20th century, it is said that Spanish loggers were surprised to come across man-made caves that were filled with mummified cocoons. Just like the salt caves, some 1500 years ago, Filipino natives were developing the area and came across what looked like giant walnuts with dead people inside. Apparently, the mummies had been burnt in a specialized process that involved filling the lungs with tobacco smoke and their bodies toasted over flames. This must have been tragic. The Spanish loggers never seemed to be bothered much about their finding. They excavated most of these ancient remains and exposed and plundered all of the valuables from the tombs. Today, these tombs have sadly been damaged by graffiti. People are the worst, don't you agree? Number 5. SENSABAUGH Tunnel, Church Hill, Tennessee. Word on the street is that if you turn your car off inside the tunnel, you'll hear a baby cry. Yeah, I don't think I want to try this out. Apparently, there is a White House that is still there, easily seen at the end of the tunnel. It is said to have belonged to one Edward SENSABAUGH. According to legend, the haunting of the tunnel begins in the house where SENSABAUGH confronted a robber with a gun. Sources reveal that the robber grabbed SENSABAUGH's baby, carrying it into the tunnel and drowning it. Another version, SENSABAUGH himself was said to have gone mad and killed his entire family and dumped them in the same tunnel. This White House must have had so much drama. A third and final version of the story may be the most reasonable. SENSABAUGH lived a long and healthy life, but got sick of the local kids hanging out in the tunnel, so he would scare them off by producing a ghostly shriek now and then. But that wouldn't explain the cries that continue to echo to this very day. Or would it? Number 4. KABAYAN Mummies of the Philippines. Just as the name suggests, the caves involve the fire mummies of the Philippines. These said mummies rest in the caves scattered along the mountains of Kabayan. Yikes. I know you're probably trying to guess how the remains remain, considering they've been frozen in their lifeless poses for eternity. History has it that these fire mummies are the result of a dying person ingesting an extremely salty drink before death. Then, their bodies would be smoked over a fire. The salt inside their stomach after forming a catalyst would eliminate all the fluids from inside. That sounds like one hell of a way to go, don't you agree? Number 3. MONFORT Bat Sanctuary, home of millions of bats. Many travelers would kill just to visit Small Island. Over time, visitors have flocked to the place because the island garden city of Samal, also called the Vanishing Island, really does vanish when the tide gets high. But I doubt anyone would want to go there if you knew what the MONFORT Bat Sanctuary had in store for you. Would you still visit a beautiful island when you know it has a cave filled with over 2 million bats? No takers? I'm not surprised. Bats are kind of mysterious, and being the humans we are, we always fear things that we don't understand. Best believe bats made it to the top of the list. There's nothing appealing about the bat, not to me anyway. It doesn't matter which species you're looking at. Regardless, if you feel the same way as I do about bats, then you can scratch the MONFORT Sanctuary off your to-do list. And now we've come to the best pick. See something you like? Yeah, I don't think so. What is this creepy thing hiding under a bridge? If you ask me, that's probably an elf, like in those Harry Potter films. I wouldn't want that thing to come near me. Number 2, HOOSAC Tunnel, Western Massachusetts. Best believe this tunnel has a story for days. The HOOSAC Tunnel, which cuts almost 5 miles straight through HOOSAC Mountain in Berkshires, got its nickname the Bloody Pit when it was being dug between 1851 and 1875. It is believed that at least 193 workers died from explosions, fires, and drownings, and only 1 survived. Some workers refused to report for duty after hearing the moaning of their fallen comrades. Many reports made it into the papers of strange lights, ghostly appearances, and, most often, groans of agony. The tunnel still carries trains today. Even as they built the tunnel, it was still known for hauntings. Number 1, Extinct Cave Lion Cub. If you were alive over 10,000 years ago in Siberia, these now extinct animals would be roaming around. That is, if they weren't cooped up in their dens. There was a photograph of a perfectly preserved frozen cave lion cub taken, showing the remains of when it was found, all thanks to the erosion by the Uandina River, which paved the way for it to be discovered. There hasn't been any clear reason indicating why the cave lion became extinct, but the lion cub was what most researchers used to set a stunning example. Some sources say that the lion cub must have been crushed at a young age from the collapse of the cave. That is surprising considering how its body is still preserved in near-perfect condition. Creepy or cool? Up to you. Though a little too obvious, in addition to man-made problems, many of the caves were plagued by insect infestation and fungal growth. Although some slight research had been done and a few fences have been erected, any effort to protect the caves was complicated by their remoteness. With that being said, which of the creepiest things found had you cringe a little? Let us know in the comment section below. Want more videos that will probably still exist until the very end of time? Click on any of the amazing videos that you see on the screen. As always, thanks for watching.